Welcome to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. So, alright, now in this video, I'm going to focus on the section 4, how to conduct a proper research and gather quality data. A quick recap of this by especially when you are able to identify your source of data when you're conducting a research for a consulting project. The first party data, that is data that come from the company, the trust sources, and the aggregate sources is something that you need to identify and recognize what is the most valuable and the least valuable. First party data is the most valuable, and the aggregate sources or this third party data is the least, because you can verify, for example, who the author is. And from a broad perspective on how you conduct a how you conduct a research is play devil advocate with yourself always, because things are not black and white. Second, gather relevant data and keep notes and records of every source you obtain. Qualify that data and don't forget to circle back with the client. Okay, so that's great, because now then I look at a set of guidelines, especially where Paul Mendes, the Zero to Mastery instructor, made a research on a tourist website, a marketing research on a tourist website, and they outline some guidelines for look at the genetics, meaning look at their website, understand what they offer, all their product and service. Important, a very important thing here. Okay, and then go into the specific to understand their pricing, their category, what makes this company unique, because all of this is what you're gonna use in your consulting. And then, if you can have access, look at the first party data, which is something that I'm going to do with this new client that I have. So look at the first party data to understand what they have done in the past, see how they have been performing, and also know how you can provide your suggestions. So once you conduct a research and gather all the relevant data from the first party data, you know about their branding, you research about their pricings, categories, then you move to a data competitor analysis, or the competitor analysis in short, to understand what are the other to understand what are the others players in that industry are, right? And also to know what they have, what are they doing, and see what you can learn from them by using a keyword research on that. Then you use that on a keyword tool to give you a clear idea of what's going on in that industry. And on top of that, then you look at the worst news to get up-to-date data and to see how everything that you have researched, what you can apply to what is most likely to work today. And that includes look at their regulations, see how this industry is adapting to regulations, and where this industry is going. So I make a quick practice on the e-commerce because after all, I just want to create a POC with Knox, Vue, and some other web technology, and I need to understand what an e-commerce is, okay? Which Amazon mentioned that is refers specifically to the trade of good and service. Okay, it is your bustling city center or your brick and mortar shop convert into zeros and one on the internet superhighway. Well, while Shopify mentioned that having an online business refers to operating all aspects of that, meaning all these uh, from the general business operations like operations, financing, and investing, as there is specific like marketing, sales, accounting, operations, human research, IT, customer service, and research and development. Or e-commerce refers to specifically the trade of good and service on the internet. And then I look at the several actors involved as their relationship or type of e-commerce. So you have the government, the business, and the consumers. And the business to consumer is the most widely common example that you're gonna use or see out there, whether it's online retailers like Amazon, Costco, Target, you name it, or a digital marketplace like eBay, Etsy, subscription service such as Netflix, Spotify, online travel and booking like Airbnb, Booking.com, or Expedia, in online ordering and food delivery like Grubhub in the US or Uber Eats and DoorDash. The business to business is another type of e-commerce where now you have online marketplace like Alibaba, Amazon Business, eBay Business, EDI, the electronic data interchange. Paperwork that was traditionally made on paper now it is done electronically to securely exchange that across company or for inner operations such as purchase item, so purchase order or invoice. EBM provide this kind of systems. Online portals such as Walmart Supplier Center or SAP Arriva Network, and the whole idea is to streamline is the entire supply chain and procurement process, which involve in the purchase of sale of large volumes, usually to get a good bid. In wholesale e-commerce like Grainger and Uline, business-to-business payment solutions, Stripe and PayPal, and another relationship now is from customer to business, such as freelance work in platforms like Upwork, um, Fiverr, or Freelance, where now consumers can provide service like marketing, sales, accounting, operations, human research, IT, customer service, or R&D, research and development, online survey, such as SurveyMonkey, user-generated content, where now consumers can sell their detailed content to business. For here is the realm of influencers, uh, crowdfunding like Indiegogo and Kickstarter, or in a reverse auction like Priceline, where now consumers can put up price quota, can submit a price quota on products that business offer in a reverse auction. Another relationship is the very interesting, by the way, and important, you know, to know the government to business, like public procurement portals, FBO, the Federal Business Opportunity on the US or the UK Contract Finder Service. They provide is uh, government contracts, so now business can apply and bid for them on government agency platforms or online government agency platforms. Tax filing and payments, like the electronic tax payment system or the electronic federal tax payment systems on the US, or the HM Custom and Revenue in the UK. Licensing and permits, where now business can apply for food service or for food licensing or building permits. International trade and custom clearance, uh, where now here government agency provides service to to business to facilitate cross-border trade, like electronic custom clearance or export declarations and business registration, such as the SBA, the Small Business Administrations, or the how do you call that, or the company house in the UK. And when it comes to government to consumers, they provide is tax payment portals. So government agency or just government online portals, they provide payment options to citizens so they can pay taxes like the IRS in the US or the HM Custom and Revenue in the UK. Vehicle registrations and licensing, DMV, this Department Motor Vehicle in California, US, or the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency on the in the UK. Payment of fines and fees like traffic tickets or parking tickets. Payment of utility bills like water, electricity, property taxes, and ordering birth and death certificates, among other examples, right? But for example, citizens can order that in place like the General Register Office in the UK or the US National Center for Health Statistics. That is a very interesting website because it provides data and it can give you some insight of what's going on the overall health in the US. But in any case, the thing here is now with this, okay, I also look at another type of e-commerce, which is the consumers to government, okay, where, for example, like online donations in American Red Cross or UNICEF, permits and licensing for fishing licensing or hunting permits. payment, um, online petitions. So they rise or they sign petitions to influence the government policies in a funny way. At least it create awareness. That's what it create. It create awareness. And uh, and yeah, and yeah, you can mention this. This is a couple example of this relationship between customer and governments. Okay, so with that, then I look at, okay, e-commerce, where e-commerce does it, where does e-commerce takes place? Like the mobile sphere or in the industry or social media. And also a competitor analysis by looking at the different actors involved here, right? Like Alibaba, Amazon, eBay, IKEA, Shopify, and also a keyword research based on that to get a clear idea of what's going on. For example, like e-commerce words. So Shopify shines on that. Shopify websites, POS, Amazon as well. Uh, so when I search for Amazon and eBay, they give you, or most of the search comes from Amazon gift cards or eBay gift cards, eBay coins as well, Amazon shopping, online shopping, and Alibaba is somewhat similar as well, but also they provide something called AliExpress, which is a delivery service. Uh, and that is to understand that. So, okay, so once you conduct your research, okay, you look at the first, second, and possibly your third party data. Now it is time to put that into a visually engaging presentation to make easy to digest to your for your client. So the whole idea of understand how to do that is that the client, you want to put it simple with the client, and the client wants to know, hey, how do you reach to that conclusion by in by showing them statistics, graph, data in a visually engaging presentation. You tell them the several patterns that you find that give you that conclusion, and also the client see you as a professional and it help you to stand up your business. Okay, so okay, cool, cool. And then okay, I look at things to know to do, especially when you are creating your visual or your visual presentation, right? It is also important to know that the vast majority of people, I'm here talking again on statistics, okay? The vast majority of people are visual learners, which help them when they see a chart, image, much more easy to digest your content. Okay, so the things to do here again to create a report is analyze your research and know, because researching doing the right way is something very, very powerful. And you should precisely know how to use the data that you gather before creating your report. Important. Okay, so analyze your research and notes by understanding that reporting is a very powerful thing if you do that the right way, and you must be very clear about how to use the data before creating the report, and then put the most valuable data first, because you don't want the client start to forget what the most important thing was. So you need to put the most impactful data first, so your audience can make sure to that they are understanding what's going on around that. Okay, so nobody wants to sit on an entire presentation to get of the final page with all the cool stuff about it. So you need to lay out the ground first here. Okay? You need to lay out the ground first, present the most valuable data, and then expand on that with visual reports and different aesthetics. Which is this. So this is something crucial here. So once you know how to use the data that you gather before creating your report, and show the most impactful data first, because you don't want the client start to think or start to forget what the most important thing was. You want your audience to make sure that they are understanding what you're talking about, and that is lay out the uh, lay out the ground first, show the most valuable data, and then expand on it as visual report and different aesthetics. Also, it's important to create templates when needed. This is help you to simplify and to automate that process, especially when you go with a particular client. Okay, visualize data into graph, because well, human process visual data 60,000 times faster than reading, and it helps you again to reduce the process time to digest your report. Okay, so when you display data in a visually appealing way with a statistic and chart, it's more easy to point out this meaningful pattern. Very, very important thing. Okay, because when you display data in a visually engaged or in a visually appealing way, so when you display data in a visually appealing way with the statistics and chart, it's more easy to point out the meaningful patterns. And as a consultant, the client needs to know how you came with that conclusion. And exactly. So, and with that, the client needs to know how you came with that conclusion. And without knowledge, you can put your suggestion. Mhm. With that knowledge, you can put your suggestion into practice. This is the core of this. This is exactly the core of this. So when you display data in a visually appealing way, the whole summary of all of that. Okay. So when you show data in a visually appealing way, when you show data in a visually appealing way with a statistics, chart, it's much more easy to point out these meaningful patterns. And as a consultant, the client needs to know, hey, how do you came out with that conclusion? And with that knowledge, you can put your suggestion into practice. Very, very important. Very, very important. So business is gonna see that you go above and beyond as a consultant, and you're not another consultant that just do the bare minimum to get by. In my own words, the client wants to know how you reach that conclusion through visually engaging presentation with charts and statistics to see meaningful patterns and then allow you to implement your suggestion as a consultant. Is the same thing that I mentioned before. Okay. And then I look at the different charts and graph, right? So you have bar chart, pie chart, line graph, area, scatter, bubble, heat, geo, and tables. At least to understand is the most common, At least to understand the most common. And leverage tools and research for your report with Microsoft Excel, Statista, to with Microsoft Excel for creating these charts, Statista to cite or to quote data. After all, this is a think tank where you can provide source of reliable data. Google Trend do that as well. Canva is allow you to create reports or any other presentations. So Google Charts and Google Sheets. Okay. So Google Charts and Google Sheets, CRM and analytics. So the thing of this is to make it easy to follow. Keep your presentation and report as simple as possible, and see how other formulated data look at similar reporting topics that they can gain with. So with that, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.